Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will start with the pathways of biotransformation. Biotransformation of drugs has been divided into two major phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Let's have a brief look on these two phases. Phase 1. Phase 1 is also called a non-synthetic or non-conjugative phase, and it includes the reactions which includes basically oxidation, reduction and hydrolysis of drugs. And during this phase 1 reaction, small polar groups, functional groups like hydroxyl group, thiol group, carboxylic group, they are either added or unmasked in case when they are already present on the lipid soluble drugs, so that the products may undergo phase 2 reactions. Phase 1 reaction generally proceeded to phase 2 reactions. Second is the phase 2 reactions. We call them synthetic reactions or conjugative phase, and these includes the reactions that involve the attachment of small polar endogenous molecules, and these endogenous molecules includes glucuronic acid, sulfate, methyl, amino acid, etc. And these groups are either added to unchanged drugs or to the products of phase 1. So phase 2 products are called conjugates, and they are water soluble metabolites. It means that they can be easily excreted out from the body. Now let's have some comparison between phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 reactions usually result in inactivation most of the cases, but sometimes there is no change in activity, or very rare there is bioactivation. Whereas if we talk about phase 2 reactions, they generally result in inactivation, in some cases to bioactivation. Phase 2 reactions are also called synthetic reactions in contrast to asynthetic phase 1 reactions. It is because the outcome of conjugated processes are generally products with increased molecular size, that the product of phase 2 will have a greater molecular size, and obviously they have some altered physicochemical properties. It can be assumed that a new substance is basically synthesized. So some of the compounds pass through phase 1 reactions and then phase 2 reactions, and some compounds only pass through phase 1. So most drugs are metabolized by many reactions simultaneously or sequentially. So now let's talk about in detail about phase 1 reactions. As we have talked there, we have discussed that there are three type of phase 1 reactions: oxidation, reduction, and hydrolysis. So let's have a look on the oxidation reactions. What are oxidation reactions? And these are basically the most important metabolic reactions, and it is because energy in humans is derived by oxidative combustion of organic molecules. And when we say that organic molecules, it means that they are the molecules which contains the carbon and hydrogen atoms. So the oxidative reactions are important for drugs. It is because they increase the hydrophilicity, and this hydrophilicity is increased by the introduction of the hydroxyl group in them. So oxidation of drug is also non-specifically catalyzed by a number of enzymes located primarily in the microsomes. So it is the one type. There is another type. Some of the oxidation reactions are also catalyzed by non-microsomal enzymes. You must consider that first we are talking about the microsomal enzymes, and now we are talking about the non-microsomal enzymes. So which are these microsomal enzymes? Let us take some examples. For example, aldehyde dehydrogenase, yeah, or xanthine oxidase. These are non-microsomal enzymes, but they do catalyze the oxidation reactions. So the most important group of oxidative enzymes are microsomal monooxygenases or mixed function oxidases, MFO. These enzymes are located primarily in hepatic endoplasmic reticulum, and they require two things, that the molecular oxygen and reducing NADPH to affect the chemical reaction. The most important component of mixed function oxidases are cytochrome P450, and it is because they binds to the substrate and activates the oxygen. So the wide distribution of these mixed function oxidases which contain cytochrome P450 in different organs, in the varying organs of the body, makes them the most important group of enzymes which are actually involved in the biotransformation of the drugs. So what is this cytochrome P450? How this name comes? The cytochrome P450 enzymes are superfamily of heme thiolate proteins, and they are widely distributed among all the living creatures. The name this cytochrome P450 is given to this group of proteins. It is because they are reduced from binds with carbon monoxide, and this binding forms a complex, and this complex shows maximum absorbance at 450 nanometer. So, depending upon the extent of amino acid sequence homology, the cytochrome P450 enzymes superfamily contains a number of isozymes. It is based upon the homology of the amino acids. On this basis, different isozymes are classified, the relative amount of which differs among species and among individuals of the same species. It means that even in humans, different individuals will react differently to the same drug because of difference in the homology of these isozymes. So these isozymes are grouped into various families, and it is the classification system, and they are designated by Arabic number, that is 1 2 3, and the sequence that are greater than 40% identical belong to same family. So each now after this, each having several subfamilies. Now the families also contain subfamilies, and these subfamilies are designated by capital A, B, and C, capital letters A, B, and C. And within the same family, sequence greater than 55% identical are in same subfamily. So in case of family, the the identical portion will be 40%, and in subfamily, the identical portion will be 55%. So while individual isozymes are then again allocated Arabic numbers 1 2 3. So you oftenly see the name of these enzymes like CYP1A1, family, subfamily, and then again isozyme number. So in humans, out of 100 currently known cytochrome P450s, about 50 are more functionally active. These are characterized into 17 families. These 50 are basically characterized into 17 families, and out of which isozymes cytochrome 3A4, CYP3A4, CYP2D6 carry out biotransformation of the largest number of drugs. Certain drugs are metabolized by more than one cytochrome isozymes. Let us have some examples of oxidation reactions. The oxidation reactions is divided into different parts. For example, the dealkylation is a type of oxidation, and drugs like morphine, diazepam, they undergoes dealkylation. Codeine undergoes dealkylation. Then the second type of oxidation is desulfuration, and drugs like parathion, malathion undergoes desulfuration. Third major type of oxidation is hydroxylation. It is also subdivided into two subtypes, that is aromatic hydroxylation and aliphatic hydroxylation. So phenytoin and propranolol undergoes aromatic hydroxylation, whereas ibuprofen and valproic acid undergoes aliphatic hydroxylation. There is also another type of oxidation, that is N-oxidation and S-oxidation. N-oxidation, where the nitrogen compounds encompass oxidation states of nitrogen, and the S-oxidation is the sulfur oxidation, and it involves the oxidation of reduced sulfur. So if we talk about the N-oxidation, that is the nitrogen oxidation, chlorpheniramine and nicotine undergoes this N oxidation undergoes N oxidation, and chlorpromazine and phenothiazine undergoes S oxidation. Then another major type is the F oxidation, that is the epoxide formation. Carbamazepine undergoes epoxidation along with heptachlor. Then deamination is also another type of oxidation reactions, and amphetamine and propranolol undergoes deamination, which is a type of oxidations. Then comes the alcohol oxidation. Ethanol basically undergoes alcohol oxidation. Second type is the reduction reactions. Reduction is simply the acceptance of one or more electrons or their equivalent from another substrate. Reductive reactions, which usually involve addition of hydrogen to a drug molecule, occurs less frequently than the oxidative reactions. And biotransformation by the reduction is also capable of getting polar functional groups, and these polar functional groups includes hydroxy group and amino groups, and they also undergo further biotransformation. So many reductive reactions are exactly opposite to that of oxidative reactions. And when we are saying opposite, so it means that they are catalyzed either by the same enzymes. If they are catalyzed by the same enzyme, then we call them the true reversible reactions. Or if they are catalyzed by different enzymes, then we call them apparent reversible reactions. So such reversible reactions usually lead to the conversion of an inactive metabolite to an active drug. It means they basically delays the drug removal from the body. There are also some examples of reductions. There are basically two types of reductions. Number one is the nitro reductions, and number two is the azo reduction. The drug, for example, protonsil is the drug that undergoes reduction, and this type of reduction is the azo reduction. Whereas chloramphenicol and parathione are the drugs that undergoes nitro reduction. A third type of reactions are hydrolysis or hydrolytic reactions. The hydrolytic reactions, contrary to oxidative and reductive reactions, do not involve change in the state of oxidation of the substrate. In oxidation and reduction, there is the change in the oxidation. There is the change in the state of oxidation of the substrate, oxidation or reduction state of substrate. But here there is the involvement in the there is the involvement of breaking of molecule. There is a cleavage of drug molecule by taking up a molecule of the water, molecule of water. So the hydrolytic enzymes that metabolize drugs are the ones that act on endogenous substances, and their activity is not confined to liver, as they are found in many other organs like kidneys, intestines, plasma, etc. So a number of drugs with ester linkages, ether linkages, amide linkages, and hydrazide linkages, they undergo hydrolysis. And the drugs, yeah, or other important examples that undergo hydrolytic reactions are choline esters, procaines, procanamide, pethidine. These are some examples of the drugs that undergo hydrolysis. If we talk about the sub-classification in case of hydrolysis, so hydrolysis of esters, procaine, acetylcholine, and hexamethonium. These are basically the examples for the hydrolytic reactions of esters. If we talk about lignocaine and procanamide, these are the examples of hydrolysis of amides.